What's up, homies? Let's talk about the California housing crisis and some of the solutions that I've seen people do. Now, there's always ways to look at the bottom of the spectrum and say, how can I live in California for the cheapest? Okay, let's start from the bottom. Being homeless. I've actually worked around a lot of homeless people who just really like being homeless. Okay, if you're into that, I wouldn't do it. It's too dangerous. People will rob you. They look at you like you're vulnerable, and people take advantage of homeless people. So it's not an option for me when there's other options. Squatting. I've seen people squat. Now, if you can find somewhere to squat, there's a whole term for squatting. Squatting could be quite a big deal. You can do all kinds of different things with squatting. But as soon as people know that you're squatting, fucked up, they kick you out. You get kicked out of public lands. Be careful about squatting on government land. You'll have to go to court for that. You could go to jail for that. So don't just think any dirt that you lay down on is okay to camp on. You could end up in jail. Yeah, be careful with that. So, being homeless, you're actually pushed off of the land. You're not allowed to be homeless. To be honest, I've seen people be homeless. They'll find where you fucking built your little shelter or whatever. They'll fucking bulldoze that shit down. You have to keep rebuilding. I've seen people just park on the side of the road and live in cars. Of course, you could see lots of videos of people living across the river, and they keep trying to like bulldoze their little tents down and evict them and move the sand around and stuff. Um, if you want to be homeless, be homeless. You don't want to be homeless. I would really just head to the mountains myself, because most people aren't gonna take the like time to drive all the way up to the mountains just to be homeless. Um, yeah, choosing where to be homeless would be like 9/10 of the battle. I don't know. Like people really tell me this all the time. I'm not trying to make this video very long about homelessness, but a lot of people really think about it like a lot. I have a friend that told me that the other day. I have a lot of friends that are homeless, but like they live in the store that they work at, or they fucking. There's ways that you just never thought about. Like they just crash at somebody's house and then they leave the house right when they wake up. I mean, it sucks. They sleep in their cars. I've seen it, man. It sucks. And I feel really, really sad that people haven't found a better solution than homelessness. But the next step up is squatting, living with somebody that'll let you live there. I had friends like that. They had an uncle or an aunt, somebody. They were able to come out to California because they knew somebody. Once they get kind of situated here, they could find a job, they could move out, they could start doing things. But yeah, squatting somewhere is usually your first solution past homelessness. Now, getting to pay rent, it's not that high. It's only about 4, 5, 600 bucks if you rent a room. Now, that's when you don't have a private entrance and you have to obey the rules of the property owner, like not being too loud and smoking and stuff like that. That's why people don't want to do that. They don't feel like it's their own house and they want to do all that shit. So if you want to buy your own house, it's going to go up about $1,000. Like a one bedroom with private entrance and shit, 1,400 bucks. Living in somebody's house where you go through their front door quietly, 400 bucks. You know what I mean? Like, it really comes down to if you can get along with people. You can sort of get away with like living in a shitty house or a house with tons of people. I've seen that. Like, They section off houses with like sheets, not even doors. Like there's closets. You open the fucking closet, that's your room. I've lived in a fucking closet, alright? Not this small. It was a big ass closet, alright? Yeah, that was in Wyoming. In Wyoming, I lived in a renovated barn, a mobile home, a room the size of a closet. It was a room. It wasn't a closet. It wasn't a closet. It was a walk-in closet. It doesn't matter how you live, okay? There's ways to live. On to the next level. You were able to like get a decent job and afford to like move out with that $1,300 minimal. Anywhere you go, it's gonna be more like 18. You're gonna have to like move out on your own, and it's cool and everything, but it doesn't sustain. Like you're not making investments like paying rent. So check out those rent calculators and stuff if you should buy or if you should rent. Sometimes it doesn't totally make sense, and if you're gonna have a job that's only temporary or you're not gonna like it very long, don't anchor yourself next to it with a house. I don't know. Doesn't sound like a good idea. Living in a mansion. Why not? Do it, man. My friend Travis does this all the time. He just finds enough people to move into a mansion, becomes the property manager of it, moves people in and out, gets $600 from everybody. Boom, he gets the master bedroom. Has a pool. You have a party. Whatever. You're living in a mansion. People think you're doing stuff. You just found enough people to live in a mansion. Which comes to my next idea. Why don't you live in a mansion with your family? If your family's pissing you off and you want to expand yourself beyond your family, buy a bigger house with your family. That way you guys maintain the house and you don't have to move away from the original place where you got more property value. You know what I mean? And that way you connect with your family. Now, living in a mansion by yourself, not very easy, but you can do it. I've seen people do it. You have to kind of buy dilapidated mansions and flip them, you know? Why not flip a mansion yourself? I've seen people do it, okay? You have your family there, the house is not fully built, but while you're building it up, it's still livable. And once it's already done, everybody has to move out and move into another dilapidated mansion. Boo-hoo, should we really be sorry that you're living in a mansion even if it is dilapidated? It's an easy solution. Maybe you could rent out a couple of the rooms while you're construction. If you made it cheaper, you know, you wouldn't want to charge them full price if you're like rebuilding the mansion, but yeah, you could flip mansions and make a bigger profit. Living in the mansion is what helps you from getting the capital gains tax put on you. You have to live in the mansion for a certain amount of time, or else you can't just flip it every 5 minutes, you know, you gotta live in there. And that solves both the problem of you living in the mansion and the capital gains taxes not being placed on you once you sell the mansion.